Hey everybody. Hey, you know what we'd like to do is a movie review, and not only a movie review, but this whole thing about Nomadland, and specifically the book and the movie, and my opinions of the movie itself, and also how does the movie really fit into the world that Marvy and I live in. And I had a chance to see the movie finally after much talk about it and all of that. And I've read the book. And so I'd like to talk a little bit about all of that stuff. But before we get started, be sure to like, subscribe, and give a thumbs up and share our videos if you like them. We'd love to share or expand our channel. And also, if you have any questions, concerns, or if you saw the movie and you disagree with anything, or you have questions about something that you have seen in the movie or will see in the movie, be sure to put those comments down below, okay? So let's get started on Nomadland. Now, Nomadland, originally I heard about the book through Bob Wells, and he's someone that I know, and we've both interviewed each other and have supported each other, and I support him and Sue Ann Carlson's nonprofit organization called Homes on Wheels Alliance. And anyway, he mentioned the book, and so I purchased the book a year or two ago and read it, and it's a book by Jessica Bruder. Now, Ms. Bruder is a journalist who heard about this lifestyle and committed herself for several years to live in a van, not full time, but enough of the time to get inside of the communities and the lifestyle, experience it. And she basically based the book on the story of a real person named Linda May and her struggles and triumphs, if you will, in living in the van community and trying to survive with a limited income and working. So the book itself was pretty accurate, or very accurate, and absolutely true in every situation. And they focused on work camping, working at Amazon, places like that. Well, that's all well and good. Well, evidently, Frances McDormand, who you might know from the wonderful movie Fargo or Three Billboards, anyway, she won an Academy Award for that. You probably know who Miss McDormand is. Anyway, she evidently read the book, was thrilled with it, and somehow found Chloe Zhao, if I'm pronouncing her last name, Zhao, correctly, who is really respected into making movies using actual people and not filling it with all paid actors. And so what they created was this interpretation of the book Nomadland, using Miss McDormand's character Fern as the narrative throughout this lifestyle. So that, in a nutshell, is a difference between the book, which is pretty much a true journalistic report about what's going on in this world or in this community, and then Chloe Zhao's interpretation of that based on her character narrative of a woman named Fern, who's a 60-something-year-old woman who's survived the death of her husband and pretty much the folding of her town, who starts to make this journey of self-discovery, reflection in van life, and they call that Nomadland. So is this an accurate portrayal of nomads? And I would say absolutely, absolutely. It's a very focused view of a certain part of the nomad van life community. And in that instance, I think it's an absolutely accurate. They didn't over-exaggerate it. She didn't try to throw a storyline into this, a huge storyline. She didn't want the storyline to be the focus of the movie. I believe that what I got out of the movie was it was a chance to experience through one person and their narrative what it's like to struggle and overcome some of these challenges and what support is out there for you. they go into things like she doesn't have money, so she wants to work. So they actually go to the same places that Jessica Bruder writes about in her book, such as Amazon, the beet harvests, and the sugar beet harvests, and actually working what they call work camping, which is kind of being the host of campgrounds and things like that, where you get paid and you're given a free place to stay in exchange for collecting money for campsites, cleaning bathrooms, campsites, things like that. It also shows another part of this lifestyle is that in the winter time, most people who are nomadic, who travel, will go south for the winter. As you can see where I am, I'm somewhere a little bit away from the Mexico border in southern Arizona. So Marvy and I are here and enjoying our campsite. There is nobody around. We have this whole place to ourselves, very quiet, except for an occasional military jet going over. However, in this movie, it doesn't focus that much on that. It focuses more on the tribal type communities that swarm every year into Quartzsite. Now, Quartzsite is a vast desert area that collects tens of thousands of RV people and van people and campers for a sense of community. And Bob Wells started a thing called the RTR, which is the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous. Now, the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous isn't really happening now because of COVID, but it is a place for a lot of people who are new to go and learn how to do things. In the movie, Fern is learning how to plug a tire. Bob Wells gives, I think he does do 2 or 3 talks during the movie, which are all excellent, but the first one is basically at the RTR. Sue Ann Carlson actually does her quite one of the more funny parts of the movie, where she's talking about poop buckets. So if you haven't seen the movie, that's probably a great reason to see the movie in and of itself. Now, first of all, by definition, a nomad is somebody pretty much without a home that travels or a set location. They travel with the seasons. You look at all through history from 20,000 years ago, the hunters and gatherers and nomadic tribes. It wasn't until we became domesticated and started staying in one place with learning to plant crops and things like that and herd animals that we became less nomadic. But this type of a person lives full-time, year-round as true nomads. Marvy and I, we don't have a home, we don't own a home, we don't have an option to buy a home. Income-wise, we don't really have the resources to do that, or to buy land and build a tiny house somewhere. This is our lifestyle. We don't have family that we can go and live with or any of that. So this is what we are. We are nomads. And there are, like Bob Wells and a lot of people in this movie, are true nomads. There's also RV people that are full-time nomads. They have sold their homes, bought their $300,000 diesel pusher Class A motorhomes, and they live the same lifestyle that most of us that live in a van do. Okay, some of them obviously have a higher disposable income, but they still are nomads. They travel south for the winter and north for the summers. The other thing that's different than the movie is that not everybody is into those social aspects. Marvy and I love small groups of people. We've got some friends of ours that we love hooking up to and seeing and spending maybe a week camping near. But for Marvy and I, the idea of going to Quartzsite and being around 10,000 people in these large groups and organized hikes and group meals, especially in the time of COVID, we much prefer our own company and company in small groups. My point is, not one is better than the other, but we are all different people from different economic, religious, and political backgrounds, different ages. And so you can see someone like us in our old Chevy van parked right next to a huge RV, and with maybe a couple younger than us, and then a school bus with people. And we all, if we're full-time nomads, in many ways we have all the same, so many things in common. So those are some of the things that are really important to think about, that when you watch Nomadland, it's not, everybody is not like it is in the movie. So what do I like about Nomadland? Let's talk about what I like and what I don't like. What I love is I love Fern's character. Now, Miss McDormand is an incredible actress. I've loved her since Fargo and the movie, and she's just great. I just absolutely love her, and she truly does. I mean, you totally convincing with this character. She deserves any accolades she may win from this movie. So I love her character, and I like the narrative of it throughout the movie. I like the feel. Now, Chloe Zhao, she has a majestic insight of how to make a movie to be the way she wants it. It's moody. It's the lighting, the color, the sounds. Even though there's music in the background, you can hear people's footsteps, doors creak, going to the bathroom. All of these things are real, and she managed to capture all of this stuff. And so I hope if you watch it, you really get to appreciate this. Another thing I absolutely love about the movie is some of these wide panoramic shots that she does of the van going down the highway. That's real life. In fact, most everything in there is real life. It's just a question of whether it represents a larger group than what people may think. Okay, so now let's talk about the things that I'm not real thrilled about, okay? I guess the biggest, now it's not that I want to change the movie in any way. The movie is perfect how it is. My concern is my friends and people that don't live this life may look at this and go like, oh, Rob, really? Oh, I'm so sorry. Did you have a hard time working at the beet harvest or whatever? No. It's narrowly focused. I would say my biggest concern about people watching this film is that they may interpret this focused narrative and its attempt to capture our life as representing everything. For example, I mean, there are some happy, cute moments in it, but there's other places where Fern is like in a river or a lake or looking at this, and it's got this moody music, and she's being reflective, and that's great. But for me and Marvy, no, we'd be throwing a ball to Jackson and swimming in the water. Watch some of our videos. There's a lot of fun stuff. People have fun in this lifestyle. Okay, we've made this commitment, we've passed the learning curve, and we have fun. Are there challenges? Yes. Are there times that we're really uncomfortable? Yes. But the freedom that all of that affords and the lack of stress gives us a whole different perspective and a way to really appreciate and enjoy things. So that's one thing. Yeah, the other one is, they filmed what they filmed. They filmed the dance hall and the bar scenes where they're dancing in this kind of country bar. And yes, these things happen. But what they don't show is what, like Marvy and I like to do. We like to go into a town to a really nice pizza place. We like to drop in on friends and go out for a meal. We save our money, and then we go out and we do some really fun things. We go and take showers and do laundry, and we get all cleaned up, and we go out into town once in a while and have a great time. If there's a nice hotel that has some jazz musicians, a trio playing, get a nice glass of wine and sit down and enjoy the evening. Go to a nice restaurant. These are things that aren't included in the narrative of the story in this movie. And again, I don't complain about that. I just want people who are watching the movie not to be misled. Okay, guys, so that's it. That's my feedback on the movie Nomadland and the book. And I really think the people who acted in it were fantastic, and even the non-actors who acted in it were brilliant. And it's important that when you watch this movie, remember these people are really being themselves. You know, they're not trying to act. I think that was one of the greatest things. And maybe that's what the director told them, is just to be yourself, because they really were. I know I know Bob, I know Sue Ann, I know these people. They acted and talked the same way as you would see them on the video. So quite wonderful aspects of the movie. If you're curious on how we live our van life, hit that subscribe button and, put on a pot of coffee, sit down and watch a bunch of our videos, all right? And make yourself at home. We have a playlist so you can focus on a certain thing, or you can just kind of binge watch all of them if you want. Be sure to write comments on any of them that you have questions about. And I tell you what, if you click on the link below, that's one of my more fun videos that I liked. It may not be interesting to you, but there is a monster somewhere in that video. You'll have to watch the movie and find out. Until then, and until we see you guys again, Marvy and I and Jackson will see y'all down the road.